there's a combination of using our levels plus the price action once the market paints the bars, and then that way you get a complete idea of what's going on. Now, obviously, when the markets are kind of slow like this, your opportunities are not as many. We're looking to trade on average, I would say 4 to 5 trades in the course of a day. Yesterday we didn't. We had a few because we had a little number that came out, and so we had a few trades early on. Sometimes it's we have trade a lot, sometimes a little. It all depends on the market. That's all. We're definitely market dependent, and that's all we can do. So you trade. Do you trade? And you trade minis, or do you trade other things? All right, let's see here. Numbers are coming out. Uh, at 9 o'clock. Okay, 9 o'clock. There's a consumer confidence number that's coming out. Enrichment Fed is coming out. No, good. Well, I personally think it's a good market to trade because there's some good opportunities because the market trades well technically. So if you're trying to trade futures, I think it's a good place to get into and trade, only because I think it trades well. So consumer confidence coming out here at 9 o'clock. So there's a number here at 9 yesterday. We had a number that kind of I gave you just about 10 seconds to a warning, but today I'm giving you a little bit more time as at least you know. And unfortunately, sometimes in the level, the number, the market kind of stays around, stays and doesn't trade around the level. But we were right on the level yesterday, and it kind of caught us a little bit. So I giving you fair warning this morning. We have a number that comes out good, somewhat of a market mover. So we'll see what it wants to do. A familiar face and Uber Dove will likely be heading up the Treasury under Joe Biden. Former Fed Chair Janet Yellen. Many see Yellen as the market-friendly pick, considering she oversaw the long economic expansion with historical low interest rates, and she's likely to push for further fiscal stimulus. The pick will also put an end to Wall Street fretting over over Senator Elizabeth Warren, who had pledged to clip big banks with tighter financial policy regime. I think this is a strong sign that Biden will focus on rebuilding the economy versus pursuing aggressive regulatory policy, said some analysts at Raymond James. She will be an effective voice of more fiscal support versus somebody who is seen as partisan. Not only is Yellen the first woman to hold the position of Fed chair, but if she's confirmed by the Senate, she will become the first woman to serve as Treasury Secretary. Futures rise on transition process. All right, so now we had a nice rotation here off of the 96 and a nice little push up here. So our first level kind of got triggered and kind of worked out okay for us. We've had a recovery trade, a vaccine trade. Now we're looking. Now we're talking about a transition trade. Nearly 3 weeks since the election, the head of the General Service Administration has signed off on the handover process, pretty much meaning that Joe Biden gets the keys to the office. Hey. He will receive national security briefings and have access to federal funds to transition the administration. That takes some risk off the table. With the S&P 500 higher this morning, along with the boosted optimism about Janet Yellen's possible nomination. President Trump will be still pressing ahead with long shot legal challenges of overturning the election results, appealing a decision in Pennsylvania that rejected claims of widespread problems with mail-in ballots while attempting to halt officials from declaring Biden the winner in battleground states. All right, so we popped up there to the 98 area, came off, and hopefully you're taking some profits there. So that's a little opportunity for us against the 96. Very, very sort of tight range bound here. Mm, okay, that's not it. Driven by another surge in Tesla share price, Elon Musk's net worth soared $7.2 billion in a day to $128 billion on Monday, passing Bill Gates to become the world's second richest person. Not looking to take any cheap shots at Ford, but yesterday market cap gains for Tesla isn't all that far off from the total market cap of for the Blue Oval of about $35 billion. Amazing, right? There's plenty of general enthusiasm over the impact of the Biden administration for electric vehicles sector and hopes that electric vehicle sales in China will accelerate with support of Beijing. On a latter note, Wedbush Securities analyst said things that China presents 8 to 9 times the opportunity for electric vehicles in the near term as sales in the United States. Tesla on a major up. Good car. Good car. It really is a nice car, I have to admit. I mean, it's got issues, but it's a nice car. Yeah, we're just kind of hanging here at around our low end. At least we had a opportunity to trade this morning. We do have a number coming out here in about top of the hour in about 14 minutes or so. So we don't like to have positions when numbers come out. Yesterday was a classic example. It worked. It didn't work, depending on if you had the orders above lined up. That was nice if you were able to do that because it came right off really quickly. But if you were short still from our level on the downside, it kind of probably didn't do too well. One of those things where that's what you got to just trade the market, whatever it gives you, right? And that was a perfect example of it. All right, so we're just kind of hanging here on these lower lows. Not really doing too much, but at least, again, at least we had a nice little opportunity there. It's only a week ago that the CDC urged Americans not to travel and spend the holiday with people outside their household, but pandemic fatigue appears to be setting in before the holidays. More than 3 million people passed through U.S. airports last weekend, according to the TSA, marking the busiest weekend since mid-March when the coronavirus began spreading across the nation. Likewise, the AAA has forecast 45 to 50 million people will be taken on the highways over the holidays compared to 55 million people in 2019. New coronavirus cases in the United States have surged to all-time highs, averaging more than 170,000 per day over the last 7 days, and deaths soared to over 1,500 per day, the highest level since the spring. Yeah, it's some terrible, 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 terrible numbers. Awful. Next level on the downside we have is the 89 area. We had resistance. If we got up to 03, that was where we would have had a little bit of resistance. But it's not there. Didn't get up there. Just kind of trading a little bit tight. Now remember, as the week goes on, because this is Thanksgiving weekend, the trade is going to be lighter and lighter. I would venture to say that tomorrow afternoon's trade is going to be virtually non-existent, unless, of course, something happens. We'll see. But Thursday, obviously, the markets are closed, and Friday, I think they opened up till 12 or something like that, but we're going to be closed here. We're not going to be coming in on Friday. It's not going to be worth the. It's going to be like watching paint dry, unless, of course, again, and there's always a caveat here, in case something happens with some fundamental geopolitical situation. You never know. Investors are still sizing up COVID-19's vaccine developed by University of Oxford and AstraZeneca, with shares of the latter falling 1% yesterday before recovering to the ground in after-hours trading. The vaccine can be stored in refrigerators temperature and is much cheaper, $3 to $4 per dose. Wow, than jabs from rival Pfizer and Moderna, which I think they're charging like $29 a dose, offering high hopes for the developing world. More bang for your buck. I didn't say that. That was written in there. Interim trial results also suggest that those that use less of the vaccine, a half dose versus 2 doses, will have more protection and efficacy. New word that nobody really uses that much, but it's out there now. Of 90% compared to 70 for the other regiment, which means you use 2 doses. So I don't know why they're even saying that. They should just tell people half a dose the first time, full dose the second time, and you're done. Still, some analysts call the results embellished, saying that they were from a relatively small group of volunteers and the shot would never be licensed in the United States. However, the rollout of the Astra Oxford jab could begin next month in the UK, according to the health secretary over there, along with the vaccine from Pfizer. They'll both need to be assessed by the UK health regulators before they become administered to the public. So there's a little light there, and at the end of that, this 2020 is trying to give us a little hope, because this year has been a disaster. All right. So again, if you're trying to stay along there, looking for the 03 area, some resistance. I would say anything above 06, you want to be out of any shorts if you're going to wander up there with a short. But remember, there's a number coming out uh, at the top of the hour here. Bitcoin going to 100 grand in 2021. Bitcoin has skyrocketed 160% since January, supported by strong institutional demand as well as scarcity, with payment companies like Square and PayPal buying it on behalf of customers. The currency touched 19,000 overnight within sight of its all-time peak of 20,000 hit in December of 2017. I have seen Bitcoin go up 10, 20, 30% in a year. So going up 5% is not a big deal, said some analysts. He predicts that cryptocurrency could hit $100,000 and 288 by the end of 2021. 208, anywhere between 100,000 and 288,000. Not 300, not 280, not 290, but 288,000. Between 100 and 288,000 by the end. I mean, that's a big range, for heaven's sakes. That's like making like a, if you play golf, you got a little 4-foot hole to make a putt. It's like putting to like a 10-foot hole. Nice range. This guy's taking a stand between 100 and 288,000 by the end of 2021. Based on a model that utilizes a stock to flow ratio measuring the scarcity of the commodity like gold. In a note last week, Citi analyst added that the Bitcoin could climb to its 318,000 by the end of next year, citing its limited supply, ease of movement across borders, and opaque ownership. So I heard that if you got these like poker tournaments that you're in that are popping up all over the place, that's how they want to get paid. They want to get paid if you win like a tournament, or if you have to pay to get into a tournament, you have to pay by Bitcoin. That's how you get paid. So yeah, those sharks, those little poker sharks know what they're doing. Anyway, so we got a number coming out here in about 4 minutes. Market's rotating up here a little bit. If anything, you're trying to stay long against our 96. You've taken some profit. You need to obviously trade multiple contracts to be able to stay long with any position because you're taking some profits on some. And we're slowly upticking here. 03 would be a good exit strategy. Coming right up here to our blue band. I guess we could make the market look like it's busier. Watch this. There we go. Look how much busier we just got. Oops, that's too much. There. That looks like we're busy now. Let's spread this a little bit bigger. That makes it look like we're really busy. Again, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask and put them in the chat box area. I can see it quicker. And, if you're here for the first time, or if you don't understand what's going on, it's, ask questions. It's good to ask. But sometimes, you might need a little bit extra tutelage, because sometimes, if you haven't traded this or haven't traded futures for a while, you might need a little bit of help. That's what we're here for. Somebody yesterday got a little frustrated and saying, I don't know what's going on. I go, well, it's like this. It's like if somebody gave you a scalpel, told you, go ahead, operate on this one person. I mean, what are you going to do? Start cutting up? No. You're going to learn how to do this or do that. And it's kind of the same thing, I realize that education's sometimes important. I mean, some people have done other things, and by the time they come here, Yeah, it's different. Oh, candles are great. I just there's no difference using candles or so. I mean, it's whatever you feel comfortable using is fine with me. There's nothing wrong with candles. The fact that you're saying that means you use them, so that's good. That means you have them. Well, can explain what ES contracts is composed of. I will explain what futures contracts are composed of. Any futures contract you trade as the market comes up here to this O3 area. So nice trade there, Don. Is a basket of commodities. In this case, we're trading equity stocks. We're trading um, a basket of stocks, and it's basically trading off of the um, index, the S&P 500 index, right, which clumps together a whole bunch of numbers. And futures, as all as in general, were put together to hedge against a market movement. You had the original uh, futures was the commodity, I should say, was the grain market, where they had a basket of bushels of corn or soybeans or soybean oil or what have you, oats. And the farmers, as the number is going to be coming, as numbers out, okay, numbers are out here. Let's see here again. If I didn't say anything about the numbers, you see how the um, ladder ticket got thinned out. Nothing. There wasn't 100 lots in there anywhere. That's how you could tell that there's some news coming out before it comes out. But if I don't tell you, so just FYI, see now the orders come back into the market, and then there's at least 100 lots up and down the market. Just before the number came out, there was like nothing there. It's like less than hundreds up and down. So you can always tell that there's something happening when you can see the order book. All right. Anyway, so we're right here against our pivot. So if you were trying to stay long, probably a good place to sell it. If we get above 06, might make a little bit of a rally to the upside. On the upside, we have next resistance level is the 10 area. So commodities were developed to blue band is the middle band of our Bollinger Bands. Seems to work good with what we do here, so we kind of use it a little bit. So commodities. So they put together a basket of grains, or so that the farmers could like hedge their crops. They weren't going to get their crops till they harvested it, which was maybe, let's say, spring or summer. Yeah, but they needed money in the winter, so they went and they wanted to make sure that if they had 5,000 bushels, that they were going to be able to manufacture, that they needed to get the price in the winter, which would be more than the price in the summer. So they locked in a price, and you can lock in a price by going to the futures market, selling the contract at let's say $4, and if you have the commodity um, as a physical commodity, you don't need to take delivery of you can give delivery of the commodity because you sold it, and you have to give the product to whoever bought it um, at that particular when the harvest time comes, when you have it. So you lock in a price of $4 a bushel, and you can work your way through there or whatever it is. When and each contract was worth 5,000 bushels. Some are less, some are more. Yeah, whatever. That's how they did it. They did it to hedge their against price fluctuations in the market, and you could do the same thing with bonds. Bonds were very In the 70s, late 70s, when interest rates were going crazy, the banks needed to hedge their portfolios, so they created this interest-sensitive uh, commodity that moved on yields. Then you get stocks that based on the index of the the S&Ps, so that they hedge portfolios, hedge their positions in the futures market. So basically, futures are out here to hedge a position, and that's why they were produced in the first place. And there's always a cash market to every futures market, so you can always uh, all of these numbers do translate to real life numbers, whatever commodity you're trading, uh, and uh, and so that's why overall. So if you buy a commodity, I would say if you buy a futures contract, most futures contracts is it's a zero sum game, which means you buy 10 lots of it at each day, and you sell 10 lots. It's zero. It's zero, and then nobody wins or lose. You won't win or lose based on fluctuation in the markets, but at the end of the day, you don't have a position. But there are people who do have positions, and let's say you had one contract, futures grain, let's say a note corn contract, right? 5,000 bushels of corn, and you traded it through the last day. You are actually you're going to have to pay up that price that it closed on the last day times 5,000 bushels, and you have to actually pay the physical price of the commodity for 5,000 bushels, and you get delivered 5,000 bushels of corn. And if you don't, or not, if your commodity clearing firm is not on top of things, some people, nowadays it doesn't happen as much, but it used to, where somebody had a position on and they forgot that they had a position on, and all of a sudden, they have to pay to the contract because it's basically came due, and you had to. Then they get delivered 5,000 bushels of corn, and somebody gets delivered 5,000 bushels of corn right on their front lawn because that's their address. So, yeah, it does happen, but that's what commodities are out there for. They're basically a hedge. All right, so once we held here, got a little bit bullish, trying to pop up here a little bit, looking for the 10 area. I don't know if they gave you an explanation for what's going on, or if you understood the explanation, but for traders, for you and me, because we don't have a position on it at the end of the day, we add liquidity to the market. The, the people who actually use the markets to hedge their grain position or their whatever position that they have. Okay, we had a little bit of a buy here above the 06. Looking for the 10. We said that we want to get above 6 to run here at a 10. And so it's a little momentum trade going. The momentum trade is based on the price action in the market. And hopefully, if you did buy above the 6 and push up here to all the way up here to 9, it's a nice little trade. You take some profits off and then keep looking for the 10 area. That would be a nice little trade there if you were able to get long there above 6. We said that if we get above 6, and then that was a price action opportunity that occurred. So somebody asked me, do I talk about the trades? That's how I talk about the trade. I said, you want to get, we'll probably get above 6 to get up to 10. That's a trade. I don't say it as it's happening, but I did bring it out. It's as close as you're going to get to me calling a trade here sometimes when when it's happening. So hopefully, if you did take advantage of it, you got long at 6 and take some profits along the way. You obviously have to trade multiple contracts. If you did get long one lot, let's say, you need to take your profits and then look for the 10. Uh, we don't suggest that you just, if you get 2 to 3 points on a trade, you're going to take some profits off. So if you're doing a price action opportunity, definitely have to take some. If you're going to hold it to 10, that's great. But there's a good chance that we might rotate back down. Who knows? I don't know. Be nice if we can get up to 10, but you got to take some profits along the way. Is my point. All right. So swung up here to 9. I need to get at the 10. If we close this bar here, we'll probably adjust a little bit to the upper end. So nice little trade there. If you're able to get in, you could have made a case for once we held the 03 area there. That was our pivot. Could have made a case for buying at the bar before if you were just a little aggressive. But we did bounce a nice little rotation up here. Again, what we're trying to do most of the time is keep you on the right side of the market. Obviously, sometimes it works better than others, but we can only trade what the market gives us. So consequently, that's what we're trying to do here. And any calls that I make out or any opportunities that I say is taught. I'm not making this up by accident. It's out there. Anybody that's taken our course would know why I said that. And if you don't, or you didn't, you ask. And we would go in a class and teach you. As we're going to have a class this afternoon at 1 o'clock. Talk about some of the things that we have to talk about. All right, nice little push back down to the pivot there. If you were looking maybe to get a little bit long there, could have made a case for it. And a nice little pop, a little quick pop. Yeah, that's not going to happen. You don't have to worry about that anymore, like I said, because what happens now is that we're trading the December contract, and 2 to 3 weeks before the December contract expires, we are going to be trading the March contract. So we're by the time we are okay, if you did buy the pivot there, nice rotation. Right down to it. Hopefully, if you had an order in there, it was quick. You had to have the order in there, obviously. And was it a price action play? Yeah, it could have been. You could have made a nice case for it. It was one of those quick rotations. I mean, you got to see the market and you got to adjust and see what's going on. Then you make the adjustment, put your order in, and because that was the perfect example of putting the order in there at the 3 and then popping back up. So so in regards to when the contract expires, so we're going to be switching to the March contract 2 to 3 weeks before. So you shouldn't be trading the D's anymore, and if you are, I mean, if you have any, most of the time we don't have positions on. I mean, I would say I've rarely had a position on, and the one time I did have a position on, I talked about it here, was by mistake. When I shut my computer, actually, I lost internet access for like 10 seconds, and my computer kind of whacked out, and I forgot I had a trade in there, or a position. I put in a trade, and I forgot about it, and I shut my computer down while the internet was out, and then I left and I came back and I had a position on because it never told me that I was out. So, but that usually doesn't happen. But usually we don't have positions. I would say 99.9% of the time we don't have a position on. So consequently, that's not usually going to be a problem that you're going to take home a position or not what we do. Other people though, I mean, other people who are, trading, position trading, and they get along and they want to stay long or short, whatever the situation. Maybe they might have a position on, they might carry it on for however length of time it is, and then those are the ones that have to worry in regards to uh, turning over their contracts from these to March. But for us, for what we do, but yes, they do. You would receive. It'd be very impossible for you to have a contract go to expiration, still have a position on, because you're going to get a phone call from your brokerage house. Hey, buddy, you got this like S&P position on, and you're going to have to come up with like $150,000 by Friday, unless you sell it or at least switch over to the next month. So they will let you know because you're not going to have enough money in your account to cover that position.
Hey, quick shout out to Barchon. Hey, Barchon, welcome back. Hey, Barchon, I just sent you out the opportunity to sign up for Sol's monthly here, what you're now part of, at a discount. Let me know how you're going to handle that. Elizabeth, the same. Jono, let us know if you have any questions. Kelvin, I sent it out to you. Let us know back in chat. Sue, I think I sent it out to you. Let me know. Let us know if you have any questions about Sol services.
Sue does have a question.
Oh, very good.
Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Are you guys getting together?
Yes. Yes, there are four of us. We bought a 19-pound turkey.
No, that's a big boy.
It is, right? You know what happened is we got all twisted up because we were seeing all these turkeys at like 25, 26 pounds. And then we were looking at the ones that were like 14, 15. So it was a good compromise.
Yeah, I don't like the big ones are harder to cook.
Yeah, no, I think the 19 might be good. I tell you, the big ones really look big.
No, a big one you can't even fit in the oven.
Imagine if you were stampeded by like a 100 of those things.
No, I can't. I can't imagine.
But yeah, sent to yours too.
Well, a couple of our kids are backing out.
Well, everybody's panicking over this. It's gotten really bad.
It has gotten really bad, and yes, everybody is panicking, unfortunately. And so a couple of my kids are backing out.
It's interesting. We went to it was a birthday party we were invited to for the family. They
Sue, if
rented
you
a.
put in, excuse me, Sue, if you put in your telephone number, Brad will get back to you. Only Brad and I see the telephone number, so you don't have to worry about people calling you, and we can talk to you about all the costs and everything. Yeah, sorry about that. What'd you say?
It's no problem. So they all took those instant tests. So anybody that was invited had to, take a test like 2 days before they came to the party or to the house for the weekend. So that's why I guess everything was overrun for Thanksgiving because the testing facilities, the lines were around the block for people getting tests for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I know, but still, they say that that doesn't matter because you could still be sick. And
Oh no, I think caution is the right thing.
anyway, yeah, I'm kind of bummed out. My
I've got
kids
a
aren't
daughter
going.
coming back from college today, and she was thinking about taking a test before she came.
Oh, wow. Which college is that? Because my nephew was down in Louisiana. He's at Tulane, and they were giving him tests like every day there.
Yeah, no, that was very. They were giving random tests and they were corralling people. So yes, she's coming from Villanova.
Oh, mm,
So she's living off campus, and she's actually living with nurses.
mm. Oh,
Nurses in the
that's
nursing
kind
school.
of dangerous, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little high risk, but I think that the only issue I have is that there's a lot of things in the news about possible good treatments and therapeutics, but at the hospital level, there's an awful lot of you know confusion on who can get them. What level of sickness do you have to be at before they can give you any of these therapeutics?
Did you hear
And
my
you have to
story
be in the
yesterday?
hospital to get it.
Did you hear my story yesterday?
Yeah, yeah, it's
I
crazy.
mean, the guy's got a heart thing, and
I thought you were talking
and
about me
no,
yesterday.
no, your
I
heart.
was
No,
listening very intently because it had a lot of my
that's true. Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, they would not. He got so pissed off at his a doctor that he went to a new one.
Yeah, I think that I mean, it's actually crazy. I think the whole thing's crazy. It's all mixed up. But so we've been waiting for the therapeutics and everything to catch up before we, really start to venture out.
Yeah, but
So
the
I think we probably got
therapeutics
another
are not going to catch
couple
up
months of that.
because vaccines are going to be there before. I mean, you're talking
Yeah,
about.
and there's a lot of people that don't want to take this vaccine because of all
You
of
know what?
the
I,
email stuff
I I'm
around it.
I'm standing in line now. I'm done with this thing already. I don't care
No,
anymore.
I think listen, you got to let me know how it goes.
Yeah, I will. I'll let you know.
You know,
You might have to be doing this show by yourself.
that's right. That's right. I just run the old tapes. The tapes of you on the floor. I'll say it's live. Right. Remember that fellow that thought that you were faking it and just running like
Yeah, he thought
a
I was
loop,
doing it. He thought I was doing it from the beach.
right? It was crazy. Actually, so I guess there are people out there that might try to do something like that. But it was the same loop, and he was trying to listen to see if it repeated.
Right. He thought I was saying the same thing over and over again, even though the prices were moving around.
And he spent hours listening to see if the prices were different. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was crazy.
Instead of actually trading, he's listening to my voice.
I find it interesting.
Okay, just in case
And
you weren't watching, you should have got filled here at this 9.5 area and take a nice little rotation there off of our 10.
he kept saying that he kept hearing like the ocean in the
Yeah,
background, right?
he thought I was on the
It's like
beach.
you can't be on the floor. You got the ocean in the background.
He
And
was
actually,
using
so if you could pull that off, that's what trading's all about, right? You want to be at the ocean.
he was using his high tech instruments to hear the beach in the background.
And that was before we were sequestered in our caves, right?
That's right.
So he was doing that on his own. It wasn't like he was just bored, you know.
Oh, oh, that's too funny. Okay. Uh, so, okay, as we were chit chatting, you should have got filled up there at the 9.5 area. If you had the order in at any early enough, I think you should have got filled. Nice rotation there. Again, we scale into our position. Um, we, we, do you think we're joking? That was it's true. He thinks we're joking. That's the guy that came. He came to my office.
He
To
did.
he came to the floor just to make sure I was really on the floor.
He did.
He
That
did.
investigation that he did was like 6 months. It wasn't just a short period of time.
I know.
I mean,
He,
he was
he
dial
did not believe.
he was dialing the dials to get the right
He
frequency to see if you were really on the floor for like 6 months.
I mean, this guy finally showed up on the floor to to make sure it was me. And then he tells me the story. And then he actually tells me the story that that's what he thought was going on.
You know,
Like,
he
really, buddy?
I mean, I don't think he realized, like, 18 months later, we're going to be using you know, uh, cardboard cutouts for people in stadiums, right?
Yeah, right. There are going to be people in the stands with that are fake.
So he's probably like pinching people on the floor to see if they were real.
This is not really happening. Yeah, I took him out to lunch. How stupid was I? Oh God, that's too funny. That's a great story. Never gets old. How many times do we repeat that story? It never gets old.
Yeah, and it's funny,
Yeah.
and it's only getting worse out there, right? Now everything is fake. Like sports are fake.
Sports?
It's funny. So we got a new TV.
Oh,
We finally got it after years and years of me like bugging, for a new TV. So finally, I got an LG OLED TV, and now it's 65 inches, which isn't too big, but it's in a smaller room. So we were watching the game the other day, and I realized like you can see every detail. I don't even want to see all these details. It's too close. There's a lot going on out there that you don't want to see.
oh, you
And of
tell me
course, I
about
was watching like a 20-inch set, all those years before. So
it.
I'm really opening up my eyes now to
Yeah, I
what's
mean,
going on.
you coach. Since I coach basketball, haven't coached in a while, but that's the one thing I do miss, by the way. But anyway, yeah, you get a lot of stuff that you don't see on and you see in a game because you're right there in the middle of the action that you don't get when you're on watching TV.
Yeah,
That is,
that's crazy.
it's kind of fun actually. Yeah, the those TVs are great. I got a I got a 65 inch in
You know,
our
it's funny. I
bedroom.
tried to go bigger, but the room was too. You know, they always say just go as big as you can afford when
Yeah,
you're seeing, and the prices came down. I mean, I waited,
yeah,
and the prices fell like it was like a window of time. Actually, I think they've probably gone down even further since I was in. But I
yeah.
got
No,
a
they
really
did.
good price on this
So
thing.
I bought it for $1,000, and now you can get it for 500.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, and I
I'm
only
old enough.
bought it like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I'm old enough to remember when they used to say, pretty soon you're going to have a TV you can just hang on your wall like a picture, and now it's here.
Yeah, yeah, it's there.
I've lived to see it. I'm a very proud man. Lived to see it. Now they want to blast me off into space.
I'd pay for that.
Maybe like high anxiety, me looking out the window with
I don't
that,
know.
that
You
horrified
can take
face
a
of
little
fear.
you can take a little ride up there and come back a couple hours later. No big deal.
Say they're coming up with that.
They are. They do. They are.
I
They
think
got this.
I go with Elon Musk.
Well, yeah. I mean, the guy's worth a gazillion dollars.
It's funny. I heard it. You know, I used to like the guy. Then I heard this story. Of
Oh
course, it
boy.
might not be true, right?
Oh
But
boy.
he had
Yeah.
an assistant with him, a woman, for a long time. And one day she asked him, like, if she could have a raise, because I guess he's pretty rich. And she's like, can I have a raise? Listen, I'd love to have a raise or have more, you know, responsibility or something. So he goes, I'll tell you what. He goes, I'll do your job for a week, and after that, I'll let you know. So he ends up like not having an assistant for a week and does the job, and then he fired her.
He's an idiot.
Right? Now I don't know if
Yeah.
that's true, but that was certainly a big story when it was out.
Well, that's what happens when you got up and coming people who are young and they make a lot of money. They say stupid and do stupid things. He's more grounded now, I'm sure.
My theory on it all is you only go around once, right? So why be an a-hole,
I'm sure he didn't think he
especially with
was
all that money?
because I'm sure he didn't think he was.
Yeah, well, he looks at the world differently, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, Mark, you heard that, right? Mark, you see, Mark's yelling at us. Did you see that?
Yeah, Mark. Yeah, he's got nothing else to do down in California. You know, he's
My
got his
daughter
little.
was like that. She said, "Hey, Dad." Oh, actually, she was talking to my wife. Can you send my friend a note on my phone? She's like, "But don't capitalize, don't punctuate, don't do any of this stuff because they get emotion from all that stuff. So if you like, type out in, large text, they're like, "Oh my God, what's wrong?" They get all freaky.
Hmm,
So there's an etiquette to
texting.
being able to text. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I'm lucky if
neither
I
do
can
I.
string words together.
Mark, there's snow out here today in Chicago, by the way. So if you want to come and put your fur on, you can put your fur booties on and come out here and hang out. You get snow today? You gonna get snow
No,
this weekend?
no, no.
No.
We're supposed to get a heat wave. So our weather is, what is it today? Oh, it's 45. It's going up to 48.
Hmm.
And for the rest of the week, Wednesday's 56 and then
Oh,
60 on Thursday.
wow. Oh, that's so
The heat
nice.
wave.
Yeah, right.
I think this weather thing is just all whacked out. I fear for the planet.
Oh, really? That's good to hear. The sanest thing you've said in a long time.
Hey, listen, I'm still saying that it's not over till it's over.
Yeah, keep saying,
You know, you
keep
keep trying to
believing,
tilt the scales.
keep believing.
Every grain of hope.
There in the grain of hope. You finally, at some
You know,
point,
the GSA lady had to go hide in a bunker.
well, I mean, for heaven's sakes, I mean,
They were like throwing pies at her family.
come on. Well, you do stupid things, you deserve to be treated stupidly.
Oh, come on.
What?
I
What?
think she's
I mean,
crazy. I would
right now,
I would last 10 I would like if you gave me like a political job, like, at the top, I'd
nobody's
last
going to
like
give you a
15. I'd
political
be under my
job.
bed like chewing on carrots or something. I'd be
Nobody's going to give you a political job at the top. Okay. Political job at the top. That's a good one. There's only
believe
one
us.
person you would work for, too. So,
Hey, listen,
if you,
I'd carry his bag around.
sure you would. You're a cult, part of a cult, man.
Yeah, I definitely. But I don't know. I think like if he's not there, they're going to be like dropping the net on him.
They should. He's a
Well, that's
fucking criminal.
oh my God. You see,
Come on.
you shouldn't say those things. You're like the
Forget
barber who
forget
you're
about
like
his
the you're like
presidency.
the
Forget about
barber who shouldn't
for,
talk about politics.
no, believe me, I can talk about politics if things were sane. It's not sane anymore. This world is
No,
effed
it's
up.
just crazy.
You
It's
can't
all crazy.
you can't listen to the other side and come up with some agreement for both sides anymore. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it's tough.
They should all
It's
go
really
and
tough.
take
That's
a
why this Thanksgiving, we gotta, really, remember that we're in what a wonderful country we have. What a wonderful world.
well. Once we get this pandemic out of the way, it would be. We can go see it again. This has been a
You know what
crazy year.
did you see what they're trying to do, like on a global basis now that they have the opening? Is they want to make it so that you have what's that watermark or something you get on your phone where you can scan it? What is it called? It's like a special thing that when you scan it, it tells you everything about whatever you want to research or look at. It's like a name I can't remember. Yeah, barcode. Yeah, it's like a barcode. But they want to do that on an international basis to start out as medical stuff, so that you're COVID neutral, so you can travel,
Well, they
international
have that now,
travel.
by the way. You have it on your iPhone.
Why?
Did
Because
you?
it's listening to me.
No, you it tracks you. It does. This is like this. If you have like COVID or you come close to a COVID area or somebody's, it lets you know. You have to turn it off. No, seriously, I'm
That's what it's
serious.
come down to, right?
I
I
mean,
just got the
that's
12. I switched to T-Mobile, and they were
mm.
giving like these great deals to trade in your old phone to get the 12. So I ended up getting the 12 for like nothing. So I'm sure this thing is like, listening to our conversation and,
It's heavier,
reporting us
isn't
to
it?
somebody.
It's heavier than the other ones.
I tell you, the picture's just incredible.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but it's heavier than the. And is it quick? Is it quicker than the
Oh
four?
my
Or the,
God. Well,
yeah, it's
I got the Max,
yeah, the
and
bigger one.
yeah, I've always had the bigger phone. But yeah, I mean, well,
Yeah,
actually, it's funny because I did this whole thing. Was on the phones, tried to get AT&T to do it, then finally T-Mobile did it, and I distribute them out to the family because I got four of them, and based on the trade-ins of the older phone. And so I finally asked my daughter, "Well, how do you like it?" She goes, "Yeah, it's the same as the old one.
no,
Not
not
much
when you
different."
download stuff. If you go online to, like my friend has it, and nowadays with all the sports betting online. I mean, he gets that information before it even shows up on TV.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, interesting. So it's like the what was it? The Sting gets ahead of everybody else.
right,
I
right.
like
I
it.
mean, at the end of it, it's. I mean, you're not. It's just because they have to have the. If you're doing, you can do betting while the game's going on. It's like crazy. Anyway, so he's he's got his phone and he's showing it to me. He goes, yeah, I get the stuff comes up on my phone before it's on TV because they're right on top of things.
You know, it's amazing, right? DraftKings and all these places.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, I mean, it was long overdue.
No, I listen. That's going to be a huge.
Yeah, it
You
is.
think Amazon's big? I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh,
sports
yeah.
betting, is
And
huge.
and they make it seem like it's like some unique thing. I mean, I've been doing this forever, and I'm watching these commercials on TV about, oh, you can bet this and you can bet that and you can bet. I'm like, really? People are like have no idea what's going on. I mean, I mean, people want to bet. They
Well,
know exactly what's happening, and
you're in
then
Chicago. Didn't you run book for Capone?
no, but I shut down a bookie once.
What you put him out of business based on your bet?
Yeah, he stopped taking bets from me.
You were too. You had to be passed up the chain, right? You were the
Yeah,
whale.
he just said I can't. First of all, he was great. He meets me in a parking lot, gives me a bag of money in like a brown paper bag, right? And so I got lucky for 2 week period there where I took him for like 25K, and after he paid me a second time, and he says to me, I can't do you anymore, and so but he paid me in a brown paper bag. He gives me all this money in a brown paper bag. It's like a little jewel bag, little
It's like
brown paper bag.
it's like right out of the movies.
It was. I mean, back in the 20 years ago when I was heavy into that, that's what I did. It was me and my friend did that all the time. We loved getting together on Sunday, betting football. We would do it with our kids in our hands in our laps. you know, we'd be watching football, yelling, screaming at the TV. Our wives would be gone, but and the kids would be sitting there, and that's what we would do. That's what we
It's
do.
funny. Every once in a while, we get that question: do you have a track record? So you just have to tell them that story.
Yeah,
Here's my track record.
yeah,
Here's my room. Here's my room with the pit tape.
yeah,
Here's my
yeah,
track.
yeah.
The only thing I
So
carried around in a brown paper bag was a couple tall boys, a
yeah.
couple Schaefers.
Oh, but I got to give him credit. He did pay me, and then he nicely told me, I can't take this. I can't do you anymore.
So when you were in the wherever you were in Chicago, did you get the money and did you think like you would get out of there alive?
You know what? I never thought of it that way. I didn't meet him. First of all, I didn't meet him in a dark alley, and I didn't meet him at night. It was middle of the morning, middle of the afternoon, and it was in a parking lot, public, across the street from a pizza joint. And
Were the boys sitting out on their folding chairs at the
no, he
pizza
pulled up.
place
He
watching you?
pulled up. He pulled up in his Cadillac, his big Cadillac.
It gets better.
It
Gets
does.
better.
I mean, he could have. I guess he could have taken a gun out and shot me. But I mean, I did pay him a few times, so it's not like he. It's not like it was only a one-way street. There, obviously, but for that 2 week stretch, and he's just I can't do it anymore. So
Well, that's a good story that you broke the bookie,
yeah, that is a good story.
right? That should be your book.
Don't worry,
I broke the bookie.
my wife does not know that story.
Yeah, I know, but you're home, right?
That's
She
right.
better have a soundproof tray
Oh, yeah,
cave.
she's upstairs. Yeah, she can't hear that story.
You don't think she's listening through
I don't know. I'll find out when I
the
come
air
upstairs.
vent?
I'll find out when I
She's
get
listening through
upstairs.
the air vent. Now you
I'm
know.
like I am in a dungeon, so literally a dungeon. So was that training for the bond pit? No, the bond pit. I actually somebody always that was always the expression about trading was always that it was like gambling, and it wasn't. I never thought of it as gambling because it was my job. and there was an art to it. There is an art to it, and to me, it wasn't just betting the spread or taking the over and the under on a game which I knew nothing about. At least I knew the players in the game and the bond bid, and I knew what's supposed to happen and how it moves and so on. And so I never looked at it that way. It just the bond pit gave me the tools to be able to do what I did outside of the pit. But
Yeah, plus you knew the guy in the Cadillac if you had any trouble, right?
yeah, I had my own guy in another Cadillac waiting. So yeah, I never looked at trading to me as gambling. That was always the way I made money. So I can't say that was training. It is, yeah.
Did you ever have to go to fisticuffs in the
No,
pit?
I was never into. I never got into the look. Somebody didn't want to pay me for something. That's fine. I didn't. I would never bet with him again, and I would probably give him a bad name. I would never like fight to get money from him. It was never my thing. Listen, the only thing when you were in the pit, the only thing you had was your reputation. So if I put on a trade or I traded with somebody and he accused me of not making a trade because it was a bad trade for him, right? And it happened, and I know it was not true. Well, I would tell everybody that was BS. And the only thing you have as an individual in a pit, as a trader, is your reputation. And if you get a reputation for being a trader who doesn't who goes back on his trades, people are going to know about it. And so if somebody didn't want to pay me, uh, that's fine. It was fine with me. I didn't. You want to be that way? That's fine. I'll never trade with you again. Or I'll never bet with you again. And believe me, people are going to know that you scum me out of some money, and they're never going to trade with you again. So
Yeah, it's funny. I bet you there because the pit was where you actually looked at somebody and did the trade, and people would just sort of turn away from that person, right? They wouldn't do it.
yeah, I mean, especially if you've been there a while and people know you. Like if I said something bad about somebody, or that he scummed me out of some money, or didn't want to take an out trade, another half of out trade. I mean, I would make it known in the pit while everybody was there. Okay. I mean, it's never happened because I mean there was this one guy that was being a little bit of a prick. But I mean, you're standing in the middle of the pit. I had a nice voice, a big enough voice where if I all of a sudden, it does get quiet. It does not always like yelling and screaming. So if I start saying something to somebody across the pit because he didn't pay me or did something unethical, I would make sure that the whole pit knows about it.
Well, I think you had to, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I said,
It's dangerous.
the only thing you had was your reputation. So if somebody decided to, and I wasn't worried about myself. I was worried about him trading with other people and scumming out on trades with them. But most people, I would say that after a while, I mean, most people that were there, you knew for a while, and yeah, look, you had 85% rate of dropping out if you were a trader. Uh, so the handful of people that actually make it stay, and
So it's
it's
an
tough.
85% of the people didn't make it,
Did not make it. Yeah,
and that's I think is and that seems. I thought it would have been more.
I think it's more now, but at the time it was a little bit easier because the trade was a little bit different. But you had a lot of people who thought about trading as well. First of all, you get intimidated by going into a pit, standing around watching people scream and yell. So that's the first thing. If you can get past that, then you have to understand what they're screaming and yelling about. Then you have to understand what moves the market, and then you have to understand how to write a trade, how to voice your own voice and put it out there. I mean, it's a learning process for sure. But yeah, at the time it was like 85%.
I mean, I couldn't believe it when the Dukes lost all that money.
Well, they were trading. They thought they had inside information, so I mean, they were trading on inside information. So I mean, that's what the Goldmans do. The Goldmans trade inside information all the time. The Goldmans, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah. The Goldmans there for a while. They didn't have a losing trade for 3 years. A losing day trading for 3 years. It's like what?
That's crazy.
Who doesn't have a losing day trading for 3 years? Their trading desk didn't lose money for 3 years in a row. Okay, that makes sense. Even the best of traders have a bad day once in a while. Not the Goldman desk. So anyway, that was that. So we took up a lot of time talking today. I hope we kept you guys entertained because market did come up to the 10, did bounce off. So hopefully you were able to take advantage of that. Now we're coming up here to the 17 area again. Optimism that the transition is going to go through is keeping the market buoyant here, happy, and we'll see what it wants to do. All right, we're coming up here to the 17 area. Trying to see what we want to do up here.
Hey, Barshal, it comes to you in chat, so let me see if I can send it to you again. Let me know if you got it. I'm gonna send it out to you now. It's coming in the same chat that you're typing in. Let me know if you got that. Hey, Chris H, welcome. Chris, let us know what you're trading. Use the chat feature to respond, Chris. Should see a series of 3 charts in a separate chart window, 2 time frames for the S&P 500 E-mini and a 30-year bond chart. Oh, that's great. Our concentration here is on the S&P 500 E-mini, doing 2, 3, 4, 5 trades during the morning session based on a price action trading methodology. Saul Shul is your host. He's actively scalping for his own account. The service is broken up into a couple different pieces. The first one is the monthly. Second one is the opportunity to train and work with Saul on a private basis. Absolutely. I'll send you out a discount that he's running just so you have it. At least you know what it is. You get an email to come in on a daily basis as a guest, and then you can switch over when you would like to. It's called trading up, baby. Trading up. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to post them. Sol's in and out.
No, we don't need anything from you. Just if in case you want to stay here longer, than a couple days, and if you like what you hear, then you can do what you want to join us. But you don't have to do anything right now. Just kind of we gave out our levels earlier. Mark, if you can post the levels for me one time, I'd appreciate it. If you're still here. We gave out levels this morning, and I'll give. There they are. Those are the levels that we gave out this morning. Those are support and resistance levels that the market has that we are used to trade, and we use those as support and resistance as well as price action opportunities. We were actually trying to keep you along here once we got above the 3.6 area, 0306, coming up here to the first level was the 10, which was a nice rotation off of that. And now we're kind of working the 17 area here a little bit. But as we trade mini S&Ps here, trying to keep you on the right side of the market. And we try to scalp the market. That's what we're trying to do here. We look to take 2-3 points on our trades, and with that much of a stop as we're coming down here off of our 17 area. Oh, that I don't. That I'm not sure, but Brad will. As we come down here to the 17, take our profits here against down to 15 here. If you want to try to stay short, you can do that with a trailing stop. Brad will get back to you as far as that is concerned. Thanks, by the way. All right, it's a nice little trade there for us against the 17. The 10 worked very nicely here as well. So we've gotten a little bit of opportunities here, given that we were chit-chatting away. Support will be back around the 6 area right now. Anything below even, I know it's kind of a little big stretch. You want to be out of any longs. Right now, if we rotate back down, support would be back around the uh, 06 area. So nice trade there. If you want to cover some shorts initially, I mean, obviously take your 2 points,
Hey,
and
Borshaw, no problem. I'll look on the back end.
if you want to cover some more, would be 10, and then below that 06. All right, so nice little couple trades there as we were chit-chatting away, and we came up here to 17. So hopefully you're able to take advantage of those two levels. Next level on the upside, we have some resistance at beta 24. Right now, we'd have support back at 06. Anything below even on the downside, you want to be out of any longs if we get back down there. If you're looking for maybe support, would be the pivot, but 06 would be better support right now. Nice rotation here off of the news that the parts of the transition is going to be followed through. From the president is allowing is trying to find a way to say that he lost. He's having a little bit of trouble saying that. But the markets did not like the uncertainty in regards to that, but it got cleared up here a little bit yesterday, and the market is continuing to find its legs to the upside. All right, so now nice couple of trades there. Again, we talked about them. Next level of resistance we have on the upside is the 24 area. Again, if you've been trading with us, we had a little support there at 96, which was almost a low today. We got down to 94 and then popped back up. Should have been able to make a little bit of money on that. Then we had a nice little quick rotation up here where we suggested maybe you buy above the 06 for a push higher. That was a little buying opportunity. It did get up to 10 and then came back down, gave you a chance to buy the pivot again just before this continuation rally here. But then we did come up to the 17 and it worked very nicely. The 10 worked very nicely. And now we're just kind of continuing to push up here, looking at the 24 areas, the next resistance area to scalp. So if you did buy them there, we had a couple chances to buy them. I mean, we do have those opportunities. They are there. It's just a matter of, are you looking for them? And anything that I say here, as far as levels are concerned, where we have support or resistance is taught. I don't make this stuff up. I try to work with each individual to try to find these areas independently, and so that you can trade independent of myself. And anything I say is taught in our course that we offer. So if any of this interests you, love to have you aboard, and if not, you just like to hang in the room and listen, that's good too, because you get to hear me and Brad talk about nothing sometimes. It's been a while since we did that, but happens once in a while just because we get bored, right? And it's a holiday. Holidays. All right, well, we got up here to 20 and a quarter. Came back off here a little bit. Just be patient and wait for the opportunities. No reason to, it's hard to just jump in anywhere. We did have a nice rotation off of our levels. And you just got to wait for them to give you a chance against them. Or if you're trying to buy them, we gave you the support areas. 10 first, and then 06, and then 3, but anything below even out of any longs. Don't want to be long below even.